And 3, 2, 1. We are live and hello everybody. You know me. Okay, no you don't, but you know who I am. I am Issa J, and alongside me, as always,
your Small Crescent Alliance World Heavyweight Champion of Picking Things, Liam Landry.
That is right, Liam. And we are here to do our podcast, Shooting with the Smarky Family, episode 54. Holy crud, we're keep on going. We might even make it 60.
Mm-hmm.
How has your week been, good sir?
It's been a fine week.
Mm-hmm.
I had a gender review party I went to yesterday.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
And we actually got to watch a little bit of wrestling this week, so we'll be able to talk about quite a bit to you guys. Yeah, my week was just nothing but moving, watching a little bit of BoJack, and yeah. Hey, there's only 8 episodes this season instead of 10, so I am a quarter of the way there.
That's normally 12 episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's only 8 now?
Well,
Wow.
8 for part 1, 8 for part 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's 16 for all whole season.
Interesting. But yeah, I'm a quarter of the way done with part 1. So if you say it like that, it sounds like I've gotten a lot done. But yeah.
Part of the way of part 1 of one season. As a quarter of the way done of part 1 of one season.
Right. But yeah, I'm liking season 6 so far. BoJack's actually doing a lot, and it's just like, oh boy. You let me know a little bit of what's about to happen at the end, so I'm like, oh no. Things are actually really looking good for him in the first 2 episodes.
I think the first 2 episodes are looking good for him.
Oh boy. But yeah, really, really good show. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And actually, Sammy Guevara of AEW really likes BoJack Horseman. So, hey, if you like wrestling and you don't know, Sammy Guevara likes BoJack Horseman. We like BoJack Horseman. So it's all topical and relatable.
So he gets Chris Jericho to watch it as well.
That'd
and
be
then
really,
we have Sammy Guevara
really...
as BoJack Horseman. No, Sammy Guevara as Mr. Peanut Butter, and Chris Jericho as BoJack Horseman versus the best friends as Rick and Morty.
That'd be a funny match.
To finally see which show is the best show.
BoJack Horseman.
Yes.
But yeah, that's been my week. Ready to get started?
Yes.
Let's get it started. It is news outside of the WWE. That's our first segment. It's where we talk about the news in wrestling that is not associated with WWE. Alright, so, you want to go tag league first?
No, let's not go with that because I need to pull it up.
No problem. Then we can go with...
It was right there.
It was right there?
Very quick to pull up.
Okay.
So let me get down to the level, and yes.
Alright,
we have the up-to-date scores for World Tag League for New Japan Pro Wrestling. At the top here, we have Evil and Sonata at 10 points. Tomohiro Ishii and Yoshihashi at 10 points. Dave Finlay and Juice Robinson, 10 points. Toru Yano and Cole Cabana at 8 points. Jeff Cobb and Mikey Nichols at 8 points. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa at 6 points. Kenta and Yujiro Takahashi at 6 points. Minoru Suzuki and Lance Archer, 6 points. Hiroshi Tenza and Satoshi Kojima at 6 points. Shingo Takagi and Al Tariba, that's terrible in Spanish, whatever it is, at 6 points. Togi Makabe and Tamaki Hanma at 6 points. Hiroki Goto and Carl Fredericks at 4 points. Alec Fale and Chase Owens, 4 points. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Toa Hanara at 4 points. Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi, 4 points. Yujiro Nagata and Manabu Nakana Nakana Shia, 2 points. Rounding at the bottom of the pack there. So yeah.
So did they add a new person to LIJ?
It's probably just someone from the Mexican division of it.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it's probably from guy from CMLL they brought in.
Gotcha.
To have like a round number of people to be in the tag team.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Okay.
this is also the World Tag League is for the heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
So Bushi is not in it.
Would not.
He's in
Yeah,
the
he
junior.
wouldn't be. Or the returning.
Well, he wouldn't want to bring him back
Takahashi.
too soon, anyways.
Mhm.
But he would also be junior as well. So they probably just brought a guy in from CMLL, which not exposed to.
That couple right there is really getting really touchy feely.
I mean, that's just what happens when you watch MLW. You get touchy feely. It really sparks the emotions. It's like Broadway. So Evil and Sonata taking the lead. That's a logical choice there. Really good team there. Tomohiro Ishii and Yoshihashi at 10 points this late is still pretty good. They have one more match than Evil and Sonata, but it was a loss because Evil and Sonata only had 5 matches, but I'm undefeated throughout.
Mm-hmm.
Ishii and Hashi, they're at 6 matches with only 1 loss. Same with Finley and Juice. And so it's taken from there. Like I said, I'm surprised Ishii and Hashi are still up there. But Evil and Sonata, and it may come down to like an Evil Sonata and like a run between them and Finley and Juice at this rate. Another interesting one is Yano and Cabana at 8 points. Kind of still, keeping up there.
Yeah, it sounds like it's looking like is this Evil and Sonata since they're the actual tag team.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna just fly by, but hey, you never know. They can always give it to a couple of random team that just happened.
You say because they're the tag team, but I mean the Gorillas of Destiny are down there at 6 points.
Well, yeah, and then Finley and Robinson actually did tag a lot together.
Yeah, I think even part of ROH,
Mm-hmm.
together
As a faction. So hey, they could give it to Juice and Finley.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling that's going now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just don't think, I don't know, Ishii and Hashi even seems like an odd pairing. There's nothing that's coming from there. And I'm not sure. It could also be possible someone to come around. But 8 points, maybe 6 points, but definitely nothing lower than that. I don't see anyone coming back around at this stage of the game. And I think it'd be a stretch to even see a 6-pointer come around. They would have to have the guys up top lose a lot to have that swing around. So it's a pretty narrow range. So right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams look like they can be in contention. And out of that, 2 of the teams is Yano and Cabana. And the other team is Jeff Cobb and Mikey Nichols. Which, I'm not sure the team. It's not like a comedy team like the other one I'm talking about, but it's probably an ROH team, which is very unlikely to win here in this scenario. So I would still say probably Evil Sonata or Finley and Robinson. I think it's going to come down to those 2 teams. I'd probably choose Evil Sonata to take out overall. I'm sure you probably pick the same here.
I would love to have those guys get it because represent LIJ. So, but yeah. Overall, the final thoughts is seeming like a really fun tag league this year, and should be surprising finish because they're in the home stretch, I believe.
Yeah.
My next piece of news outside of the WWE, we're going to talk about Mr. Jim Cornette. He said some pretty not so good things last week on Power, or last Tuesday on Power, and well, it got a lot of people angry. And not only that, but kind of cost him his job.
Yeah, a lot of backlash for that. What he alluded to, I won't name the wrestler he named because I wouldn't want that wrestler to get negative attention.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be fair to him, but he said that that guy is so tough that I can see him, that he's tough enough to drive through Ethiopia on a moped with a bucket of fried chicken strapped to his back. Of course, the illusion is there of black people and fried chicken, and the obvious comparisons go to say that's a no-no in today's world.
Massive no-no.
Some people have stretched to try to say that he was only trying to imply the fact that Ethiopia doesn't have a lot of food and food shortages, but he could have gone with nearly any other food type and would have gotten the same results. And it's not outside of Jim Cornette to go to racist things to get over. As this was happening, a lot of a clip of him going around saying the N word has been making its rounds.
He said it. He says it a lot of times in that one interview.
Yeah. And it's like, and exclusively calling someone that, and it's like, it's definitely not something I go over in today's. And it's like you don't. It would be one thing I felt if his character was supposed to be a racist heel, but it never really felt that way. Whenever I watched that, he was supposed to be a heel commentator. He just kind of seemed more straight and narrow. I mean, even when someone like Cole Cabana was out there, I don't. Like, I even think like when Cole Cabana came out, it was like he was even saying, it's like, well, we had a lot of beef, but we put it aside. And it honestly seemed like he was supposed to be straight and narrow, just putting people over. And the guy he was putting over doesn't necessarily seem to be a heel. It seems like a person they want to try to promote and all. So when it looks at it, it's like that I feel that that's not what his character is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a racist heel character, and it's not just him playing a role. It's just him with a really, it's surprising, for Jim Cornette, but a really outdated view. It's so, and it doesn't also help that it's a person that had a lot of backlash from instances like this. I believe someone even pointed out that it's not the first time he's made this joke. He made it a long time ago, like from back in the 80s, when stuff like that would more fly. But yeah, so but basically to say, for someone who is under a lot of scrutiny for saying very offensive stuff, for stuff that, when he called Sunny Kiss a transvestite, to calling, what's his name? We just talked about it on the right back. Was it Joey Roberts, or the ring announcer AEW? Joey Styles, or
something like that.
It's something I forget, but the ring announcer for AEW calling him, saying that he looked like a pedophile and stuff. For something like that, you definitely don't want to. You're definitely not going to get looked over for something like this, and it goes beyond anything he said about personal things of his take on wrestling. It's definitely goes beyond that to just really outdated, really offensive, and not really what any company should be striving for in this way. Especially if you want to have wrestlers of color to wrestle for you, and also have people of color to watch your shows. That's not something that you would really want.
Exactly. So it's not surprising that he has been fired. So
well, I would say that he's resigned. So it's one of those things. It's normally people in situations like that, they're pushed out and asked to resign, just to take a situation, make it less sticky.
Yeah. Also, so you can't. The paperwork isn't where it's like, oh, you did this, you did that. I want some. I'm suing you because of this or that.
And it's also a good way to stop people from having to admit fault and everything. So just make it quietly go away. And Yeah, it leads Jim Cornette out of another company and will make it very difficult for him to go back around to anything outside of smaller indie promotions. Because anyone wanting to build a national brand is going to have to think of all those comments and think of if they're going to actually, be able to support that. Which would be a no in a lot of ways. It's going to hurt anyone unless you give it a few years. People forget. But
right. Yeah. So that we don't want to talk too much about Jim Cornette anymore because we've said it like many times on this podcast and on our other shows. We don't like giving him the satisfaction of the attention. So we're just going to move on to the final piece of news outside the WWE, and that is
it involves what we're watching right now, MLW.
Yeah, exactly.
Re-signing Filthy Tom Lawler, who, to be fair, in that last press conference thing they did, he wasn't looking that filthy at all. He was looking pretty clean cut. So it's clean cut Tom Lawler re-signing a new exclusive deal with an MLW. We talked about it, I believe it was last week, about how his deal was up, and we weren't sure if he was going to remain with the company, but he has inked a new deal. Came out to the crowd and said it himself to him. So it's a good deal for MLW. He's a big name for them and has been able to be in a lot of big opportunities, a top babyface really for them. So it's a very big deal that he stays with them. That's moving on.
Yeah, I think it's an exclusive deal too.
Yeah.
So he's going to be there for a good minute, and that just raises the stock for MLW that much more, which is really, really cool. I got to see one match from Filthy Tom Lawler last week, and I like him. So yeah, it's really, really cool that he's staying. Any last thoughts on that?
Yeah, and to say the exclusive, we're not, it's always a question of how exclusive is that, especially with just MLW working with other people. You never know. That the price is right, you could see him in AAA. Ooh, wow. Think of next Triple Mania.
It should be interesting.
You can see, Kenny Omega versus Sami Callihan versus Filthy Tom Lawler because of all the deals. Triple A is now the land of the dream match.
Right, the Young Bucks versus the Von Erichs versus the Psycho Clowns. That would be interesting too.
And versus Psycho Clowns versus OVE.
All the brothers against each other.
And it's like, oh man, that's great. We were joking before about how it's like Triple H's in bed with everyone, and it's like, hey, if they can actually swing that, that'd be perfect for getting them more attention in the States. See all those dream matches that you can't see elsewhere.
Right. But yeah. I guess that ends the news outside of the WWE. So it's time to go on to segment number 2, news inside the WWE. It's exactly what we did last time, but now it's exclusively WWE. First thing of news is we had an unfortunate injury happen, not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, to Miss Mia Yim. She suffered a broken nose in her ladder match, and because of that, she was not able to compete at War Games yesterday. So we, of course, wish Mia Yim a very speedy recovery and that she's able to get back to action and doing what she loves to do. Any words and thoughts you want to say?
Not too much, just adding to the fact that it was a real one. They talked about the kayfabe beatdown, but that was more of a cover because it was an actual injury and the refs and the medical staff did not clear her.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, it probably should be a quick one. I believe it was just a nose injury.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be back fairly quickly. Yeah, I mean, if it came down to the fact that they thought maybe even then it could have worked, like it could have even been like up until takeover that was possibly an option. Because we don't really know what was the takeover schedule. Like we feel Dakota Kai was probably in there, but we don't know how. It may have been not from not by beating up Mia Yim.
And we want to say a quick hello to Reese Allen. Hello, thank you for watching and thank you for commenting. But yeah, that was the
But that was what.
Yeah. I guess we can move on from after that. And we had another person go down in the world of NXT, but for completely different reasons. Jordan Miles, also known as Super ACH, he's out. He was let go of his contract, so he's no longer in WWE. He already signed a contract to appear at a indie show coming up soon. So yeah, Jordan Miles out. We talked in length about this last week, so we don't have much to say. Do you have anything left you want to say about it?
No, there's not too much to add to it.
Mm-hmm.
Guess maybe the only question is we don't know the full release, idea.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know if he's going to actually be able to. Actually, we don't know if he's going to be going to Indy right away.
Right.
Because we don't know that there's a lot of the whole stuff about the non-compete clause.
Mm-hmm.
I know that does not affect if your contract runs out, but does if you're released or quit.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll keep you updated on any of that as well. Also, though, Reese Allen, we see your question and you see your comment. We will answer it on the mailbag section. Thank you for your question. If you have any more questions, just keep asking and we'll get to them. We'll let you know our thoughts. But
yeah, I want to say let's say if we're looking down, we're watching TV because we're watching wrestling as it's happening, catching up. This is this past week of NWA Power.
Yes.
I just changed it too.
Mm-hmm. So moving on to the next news segment, and let's talk about something new, something brand new. It is a new Intercontinental Championship belt for WWE, and apparently a lot of people aren't liking it or not really caring. I think it's a very nice looking belt. I personally did not like the Intercontinental Championship belt with the white strap and the silver lining. I think the new one looks way better. It actually looks exactly like the Universal Championship belt I pitched before. Where last week when we talked about the blue belt, I was like, oh, maybe we should have like the world, and there's no galaxies on it, but it's very close if you're really looking at the fine details. So someone must be watching. Sammy, we didn't know you were a fan. But yeah, it looks very nice. I like it. Your thoughts on it?
My opinion on it is that I thought they could have kept I prefer the look of the white with the silver.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic look. I mean, not all classics great. I don't want the mustard yellow belt, but
right.
I think it could have actually looked nice with white and silver because it's also very distinct when it looked like that.
Mm-hmm.
With this very black, very gold look, it looks like NXT or AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And even most belts. I think the white and silver made it look distinctive and gave it a little more character. So I would have liked this one to have that same color scheme, but it is still a nice design.
Yeah.
I can see maybe some people may think it's a little much because it's a lot on there, but I don't think it's really that bad. I think a lot of the classic belts and a lot of really good belt designs are more complex and have a lot of stuff on there. It's definitely a lot more compared to the basically minimalistic WWE belts that are happening right now.
Yeah.
And they still have the changeable side plates, which is good.
And
It's just be better if they use the belt more.
Right. Very much
so. We're gonna like see in 5 months. It's like, is that a new belt? Oh no, that's the one they changed. We just haven't seen it in 5 months.
Yeah, at least we get to see it today. That should be really interesting. But I do want to say the NWA 10 pounds of gold. That belt looks nice.
Yeah, it's a very classic design. Yeah, and right now we're about to get into the controversial match.
Okay.
But they re-edited it, so it's not in there now. But yeah, so new belt design. I think from what I'm seeing, a lot of people love it.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, maybe we're just seeing different people here.
I know. I watched the clip of when Sammy presented the belt. It was like crickets, which was really upsetting because I thought it was an interesting thing. It doesn't look like the rubbery Universal Championship when that first was.
Yeah,
brought,
let's just be thankful it's not red or blue.
Right, 100%. But yeah, so that
it's like Vince McMahon comes to Triple H and is like, I got a new design for your NXT title, and it's like it's like the WWE Championship belt but just yellow.
That would be horrible. But yeah, let's move on to the final bit of news inside the WWE that we want to talk about, and that is updating you guys on the Survivor Series card. We had one really big update that happened, and we just want to talk, well, two technically, but we just want to talk about what our initial thoughts one last time before the show. Also, just gonna put it out there, in a couple minutes after this podcast, after we're wrapped up and done with this, we're gonna go live immediately again, and we're gonna do our predictions. So stick around, look at the notifications, ring the bell to get those notifications, subscribe to us so that way you can watch that video as well. So here we go. We are going into Survivor Series time. Brock Lesnar and Rey Mysterio in a no-holds-barred disqualification match. No-holds-barred, no disqualification match for WWE Championship. Did that get added this Monday, or this past Monday, or the Monday before?
I do not remember.
I think it was this past Monday. So that is a new stipulation that was added. Your thoughts? That is now no-holds-barred, no disqualification.
I mean, I've seen some people saying it could come to the advantage of Rey Mysterio, but at the same time, he's not necessarily known as a weapons wrestler.
A lot of people are just thinking it's going to be Cain Velasquez helping out Rey, which kind of makes Rey still look weak. It's unfortunate that Rey never got the biggest and the best upper hand stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then do you think have him as champion? I mean, Cain Velasquez help to have Rey be the winner?
Wait, say that last.
Do you think Rey's gonna win with the Cain Velasquez help?
I will get to that in our predictions video. But it seems like it should be an interesting match with the stipulation. I was already interested in it, and now my intrigue is just a little bit more heightened.
Yeah. I would also say I don't think that he's gonna be like anything super big.
Yeah.
I mean, remember from Moxley, Brock Lesnar, that doesn't seem like he's going to go crazy with the hardcore matches.
All right, then we have the championship triple threat with the women. It is the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch taking on SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, taking on NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler, who just got powerbombed through two chairs yesterday. So we'll see if NXT continuity even exists still, because we know it doesn't. But we'll see if it still exists, if it starts to exist with the selling of War Games match. I think
to be fair with that, I mean, I've seen Adam Cole come with bruised-looking ribs to Royal Rumble. The first one he was in. What's the next match here?
The next match is the Champions Triple Threat Tag Team match with your Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders, taking on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the New Day, taking on the NXT Tag Team Champions, the Undisputed Era. I'm really looking forward to this because obviously my boys, Undisputed Era, love those guys. That one of the best, probably the best tag team in the WWE banner today right now.
And also my boys, the New Day. Try to get something. This New Day is they of course classic, and then
New Day is amazing,
and we get to see War Raiders on a pay-per-view.
Yes, the War Machine, War Raiders, Viking Raiders, whatever you guys want to call them.
Viking Experience.
But let's not call them that ever again. But the thing
Viking
is,
cruises.
Because it. Oh my gosh! But here's the thing. Even though they've only been
they sound
in
like terrible cruises, they make you row the boat and everything.
Yeah, they make you row the boat. They make you go pillage and.
Oh, the pillaging sounds fun. This is rowing the boat. I mean, I guess that gets you in some great shape.
Right, but on WWE Raw, we don't really get to see the Viking Raiders do a lot, unfortunately. But so this might actually be a breakout match for them. We'll see. Next, it is 5 on 5 on 5. On 5, on 5, on 5, on 5. I'm a broken record now. It is Team Raw with the women of Charlotte Flair, Natalya, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Sarah Logan. That team up makes absolutely no sense.
No.
Taking on Team SmackDown with Sasha Banks, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross. That team up makes absolutely no sense. Going against Team NXT with Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, and Toni Storm. That team up makes absolutely no sense.
I'm sensing a pattern here, Issa.
Yeah, that pattern is nice and strong. So yeah, none of these team ups makes no sense, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
But brand supremacy.
That is pointless. Next is the men's 5 on 5 on 5 on 5 on 5. There's not that many, but it's Team Raw taking on Team Raw represented by Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Ricochet, and Kevin Owens. That team up makes no sense. Team SmackDown, which is Roman Reigns, Mustafa Ali, Braun Strowman, King Corbin, and Shorty G. That team up would make way more sense, though, if not for King Corbin. Mm-hmm. If King Corbin gets eliminated very early on, that team is probably going to win. But that's the one that makes the most sense. Taking on Team NXT, to be announced.
Yes. It will be announced by Shawn Michaels on the kickoff show. So
I'm guessing
for the most part they're trying to see who's going to be okay to go. Mm-hmm. Because it's like rolling matches. Granted, the women were also in the War Games,
right?
And they didn't have the weights, but I don't know. I guess they were just worried about the men.
Yeah, the men went a bit crazy. Yeah. To be fair,
but wouldn't it be a bit funny if to represent NXT, we're gonna get guys like Kevin Owens and Finn Balor.
Well, Kevin Owens is already Team Raw now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But
that's not certain if he's gonna be.
I personally think it's gonna be Matt Riddle, Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, and let's just go Kona Reeves. Why not?
So I guess to keep up with that stock pairing one.
Right.
Like,
then we have the champion triple threat with the lower titles. It is AJ Styles, the United States champion, taking on Shinsuke Nakamura with the Intercontinental Championship, the Intercontinental Champion, and taking on Roderick Strong, the North American Champion for NXT. This, I think, is going to be match of the night. This one right here, if they are allowed to go, with the tag team triple threat very close behind. But I'm very interested to see how this all goes. Your thoughts on this one right here?
Once again, if they go, they can do a lot. I mean, it's just a pretty stable thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just a lot of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of WWE comes down to, especially here. It just comes down to if they allow it, it could be a good thing.
Right. Yeah, this one and the tag match are the ones I'm looking most forward to, and the last match out, but we'll get to. But next, it is a singles match for the Universal Championship. It is Bray Wyatt in the Fiend getup taking on Daniel Bryan. Should be an interesting match, but it's definitely the most predictable one, I think. Well, again, we'll get to our predictions in the next video, but yeah. Anything to add for this one?
No, it just could be a good match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they build up the story behind them.
But I feel like they forgot to actually put the stipulation on here because it's not just a singles match. It is a singles under red light match.
That's true.
Yeah, so you screwed up, Wiki.
Switched up. It's a singles under blue light.
Oh,
it's SmackDown.
It's SmackDown. That would be so funny if they do that, though.
It's gonna be less visible.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Greatest critique so far of the Fiend is we can't see the matches.
Oh my gosh, the Fiend has been John Cena this entire time. But next, the final match on this Wikipedia page is Adam Cole taking on Pete Dunne. Again, this should be a really good match. Hopefully better than Pete Dunne's last match yesterday. But yeah, and it's for the NXT Championship, so we get to see a lot of NXT representation here, with this one being the best representation on the night. Your final thoughts on this one right here?
Could be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a good one. See how far both these guys can work, given the what they've already done. I'm sure they probably can still do a lot.
Yes, indeed.
If maybe Adam Cole is not legitimately dead.
Right. Okay. Which because they haven't announced a pre-show match.
Which shows that now NXT is in the same universe as being the Elite. They both killed off Adam Cole.
Yeah. But yeah, so right here, they don't have an actual pre-show match slated. Do you think any of these matches are going to be on the pre-show, or do you think they're going to add one?
If they didn't have a pre-match show slated, then probably one of these will go to pre-show. I'm not sure which one though.
It's Aaron.
I would highly doubt that they would do that for the NXT. Just because the obvious reason that would be real insult to Triple H there.
Mm-hmm.
But they could have something move up a slot.
I think it would end up being like the tag team triple threat, or this one right here, the undercard belts.
Both those could probably are the most likely to move up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of the definitely not the Survivor Series.
Oh, not the Survivor Series, and I really highly doubt the women.
It shouldn't be the NXT champion, like we said.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the last ones it's probably going to be.
Or hey, they just add another match and we give you our thoughts when it happens. All right.
They're like, oh, what about the cruiserweights?
All right, so let's move on to, again, Reese Allen, thank you so much for your questions. We will get to them on the mailbag 100%. Moving on to the next segment. Here we go. It is the best segment of the week. And it is where we talk about what we thought the best segment, match, promo, whatever, the best of the week. That's what we're about to talk about. And I was for me, I'll start. I was in a weird kind of way because I watched an episode of AEW Dark, and I really liked their tag match with SCU, Scorpio Sky, Frankie Kazarian with Chima taking on the Hybrid 2, which is Jack Evans on Helico with the partnering of Kip Sabian. I really liked that match. It was really, really fun, really good. And I also watched the NXT episode, the NXT match of the Undisputed Era taking on the, oh my gosh, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. The Revival, thank you. The Revival. And I liked that match, but there's just, because it didn't give me everything, I didn't get to watch all of it because of the ad breaks, even though I watched it on the network. I still didn't get what I wanted. I was like, okay, I guess it's going to be this match. And then War Games happened. The men's War Games match, hands down for me, was my favorite. It had my boys Undisputed Era taking on Team Ciampa. Great back and forth. A lot of fun. Kevin Owens getting to do his thing, getting to take a Panama Sunrise, which you never thought you'd ever see in this day and age, was really cool. I just loved the match, and the finish was insane. By far the best. Unfortunately, again, my boys didn't win, but hey, what can you do? Can't wait to see them one more time. I get to hear their theme song 3 more times, and that's never a bad thing. So yeah, that's my best segment of the week. What's yours?
I would say mine is the same.
Okay.
With the men's War Games match.
Mm-hmm. Anything else to add?
Not really. I mean, you covered most the pinnacle parts there. So
did you want to do any honorable mentions?
Yeah, we can probably do honorable mentions. I thought that match between the from Dark, AEW Dark, between Strongholds and the Young Bucks was really good.
Okay, yeah.
I thought it had some really nice transition there. I think they worked well off each other. I don't know if they had any matches prior to this. This is the first one in AEW, but elsewhere, I don't know if they had anything like maybe in China or something. But they seemed to work well and very smoothly with each other. And of course, had some great classic action from the Young Bucks. I thought that was a real good one.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch that one because I was doing something, but yeah, I will definitely rewatch that match really, really soon. But yeah, that was our best segment of the week segment. So we're gonna move on to the next segment, and it is, are you serious? It's where we rant or praise something in the world of wrestling. And yeah, Liam, we'll let you take this one first.
I would just go with, it's the same every year around this time. All you serious WWE brand supremacy, it's not really enough to make a pay-per-view offer. You have all these storylines that have to drop, that have to be dropped in order for us to work, and people, they're not even for real logical reasons, and then just restarts back up afterwards. It's just like they take a little mini break here. I even feel like it affected a little bit of War Games as well. It wasn't as smooth as most War Games are, where it just seems like a very natural occurrence. Like it never comes off as just a forced match just for the namesake, But yeah, so it's always comes off forced. It and just basically lowers the quality of the matches because they lose a lot of heat because you just had these odd pairings put together against other odd pairings for no particular reason other than their company. I mean, think of if you were like that and like you were working at Walmart and like your boss comes over to you and is like, hey, let's put on these Walmart shirts and go over and beat up all the guys at Target. You'd be like, what? Why are we doing that? Well, brand supremacy. I don't care about that. You don't pay me enough to care about that.
Right. It's like, no, it's a good thing. It's like, well, who's gonna be there? Jason, you mean that douchebag who always gyps me on my turkey when I try to get stuff from the deli? Yeah, that Jason. Screw that guy. I'm not doing that with him.
Hey, you gotta put your grudges beside yourselves.
Why? Brand supremacy. Yeah, my rant is it's gonna be very short. It's gonna be on Jim Cornette. Screw you, dude. You're outdated, you're done, and I don't care about all those people who are all about the, her hair is amazing, by the way, and so is hers.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't care about the old way. I am a Young Bucks fan. I love their work. I am a Evil and Sonata fan. I love their work. And I love the Undisputed Era. I love their work. That's always been my style of wrestling. And if you think that's killing the business, you're a complete moron because it's getting more eyes on the business. How is getting more eyes on the business and getting new fans to wrestling killing the business? I don't know where your logic is. Killing the business means people are leaving. You know, it's killing the business, staying in that old, boring way of matches. That's killing the business. So, that's my rant on you and your idealisms. They're unneeded and they're unwanted, obviously. So, yeah, let's be a little bit happier now.
And to add the final note to yours, because you don't curse, I'll add it for you. To Jim Cornette, thank you, fuck you, goodbye. Yeah, see, that adds a note. So let's get a piece to end on. Okay, so next segment.
It is Book It Yourself. It's where we take something in the world of wrestling and, well, we book it. And,
let's book some brand supremacy.
But, let's not.
Brand supremacy, you know?
Okay, so let's book us versus Cultaholic versus, Steven Larson going in Raw. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
so
brand supremacy.
Yeah, brand supremacy. So, I guess it's gonna be a triple threat. Yeah, if we get DJ to show up. I feel like we have an unfair, Cultaholic has an unfair advantage.
It'll just be two of us,
right?
Until like the last countdown goes, and then we get our mystery partner.
Yeah.
And it's Kevin Owens.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, we get the book it anywhere we want, right?
Yeah.
So we get Kevin Owens, and then it's going to be, I guess, Cal Jack, since he does a lot of stuff with Steven Larson, and then Steven Larson, and then who else?
To be frank, I wasn't afraid of Steven Larson until you mentioned Cal Jack.
Oh, drat. Well, that's why we have Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And then we have, which three? We're going to get only three, even though there's a bunch.
Oh, Jack.
Jack the Jobber, okay.
Yes. Then we have Ross.
King Ross, or Ross
Yes.
on Wrestling.
Yeah. And then I think you're going to need an Adam in there, so Adam Pacitti.
So, well, he's the only Adam on that.
That's why it's him.
Okay, yes, Adam Pacitti. Sorry, Sam and Tom and Mafu, we didn't quite make the cut. Alright, so who's the first?
Oh, Mafu's on commentary.
Okay,
So.
and then Tom also is an actual commentator sometimes, so they'll be on commentary, both of them. That'd be actually good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, who's the first one eliminated? And I feel like it should be the person that has Jobber in his name.
It's gonna be Jack the Jobber.
Jack the Jobber is the first
Quick
eliminated.
elimination,
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
I feel like the next one eliminated should be someone who's a bit beefy, a bit like not super into shape. I'm gonna go with Steve from Steve and Larson for Going in Raw. So Steve is the next one eliminated. Yeah, so who's next? Who's next?
I think in order to save both guys, don't have losses, you have a fight outside of the ring for double count out between Cal Jack and Kevin Owens.
Okay.
So
All right.
it's like double elimination. So like neither guy has to take the real loss there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense.
Smart business move there.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like I can actually take on Pacitti. So I'll do one of my signature moves and I'll eliminate Pacitti and then tag you in. So what's happening next?
Then I think, very obviously, at that point, Lawson's gonna have to try to team up with Cultaholics because he's scared of us. And again, because they both have one person left, I think a double team, with some double team maneuvers, big finishers, I get eliminated because of that.
Oh, wait, what?
It kind of has to happen at that point. I mean,
yeah, I guess
it'd be be much worse if we were had to get eliminated by just a single person.
Yeah.
I still go out strong.
Yeah, and then because they're both in the ring and I didn't actually enter yet, they turn on each other, and then Ross eliminates Larson. So Going in Raw, they are the first team eliminated.
Yes.
And in the vein and in the honor of Simon Miller and his absolute positivity, I will go and get the win with the most devastating move of all of wrestling, the surprise roll-up. And surprise roll-up Ross to get the final 1, 2, 3. And of course we're going to go over. I'm surprised you eliminated yourself without getting one elimination. Or were you the one who eliminated Jack?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, we didn't specify that.
True. I'm going to say you were the one who eliminated Jack. So we win. Hooray. So that was fun. Brand supremacy and all that nonsense. So let's move on to the next segment, and it is What Do You Think? Is where we take a question from our own mind and we ask our fellow compadres, well, what do you think? Do you have a question for me, good sir?
So my question is, this was talked about beforehand a few weeks ago. What's the name? The inner circle was teasing the idea of adding a woman in there. What woman, who, either on the brand itself or outside and not with any particular company, would you like to see in the inner circle?
Is that Melina?
Yeah. She is now joining it.
Melina! That makes me happy. I
Yes.
like Melina. Oh, it's the most devastating move of all of wrestling.
Yeah, so see, because of that, it can't be her. It can't be Melina because
She's not
with that.
AEW.
Yes,
Oh man, that would have been perfect though.
would have been pretty good. Yeah.
But a woman inside of the WWE that is I said the WWE, and that's the wrong brand entirely.
It doesn't have to just be inside AEW, just also not with another major company. Just
But
someone
yeah,
floating around.
to that point, I actually want it to be. Oh, I guess she did win with the roll up.
Okay, and
Interesting. But anyways, stop getting distracted, Issa. It is going to be. So I'm actually going to go.
It's gonna be a real shocker. It's gonna be Brandy.
Brandy. I'm actually going to go with a woman inside AW currently, someone who is that kind of at the same kind of heelish nature as the Inner Circle right now, and I'm actually going to go. Obviously, Penelope Ford is with Kip Sabian right now, so even she would have been perfect, but it's not going to be her. It's going to be. Oh, drat. I'm trying to think of a bunch of the ladies that are there. Awesome Kong is already doing something with Brandy. I figured it out. I have figured it out. Bea Priestley. Bea Priestley makes a lot of sense. She is a heelish character like the Inner Circle, so I think she would fit perfectly in their ilk. So that's who I'm going for.
But you didn't go, out of AEW for a person who honestly said on Twitter, in like response to that, saying like, "Hey, I'd be game for that," and that was Ivelisse.
I would love that.
So,
Ivelisse, go to the Inner Circle. Do it.
But that's how I even ended up finding it from her Twitter. Her tweet about it. Something that she would be down for being the, female member of the Inner Circle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. Pretty awesome. So I'm going to go... Yeah, my question to you is...
And I think she works well with Proud and Powerful, too.
Oh, yeah. I think she definitely would. Is he... I'm trying to guess what his character is supposed to be, but I have no clue.
The question mark?
Mm-hmm. No. That's obviously Kenny from South Park. Mysterion, right? Is that not who that is?
That's a question mark. It could be anyone.
Oh, okay.
Even a question mark.
Apparently
he's over with the crowd,
my question to you is, is there anybody that has left WWE recently that you'd actually want to see come back? Or do you want to see Johnny Mundo go to AEW as much as I do?
Yeah, he would. I don't think he's moving. I think he's has a good thing going with Impact, especially with his wife there and her doing well.
Yeah, I think she's still champion.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna move from there. I wouldn't care for to move either. I mean, I'm not saying like they should. Probably just stay there, have a good career, as long as they want. But going back, I don't know. It's like so many people left for reasons and like have negative things about it. It's like we would want to go back. The only one I would say, like, if we can bend reality, I guess maybe like Paige or something like that. Because I mean, she's technically still with them, but as a wrestler, go back. Because to be fair, it'd probably be better than that than on commentary.
Right.
Because she was a better wrestler than on the mic, and be far more entertaining that way. I think most people would want to see her come back in that way, in that regard. So that would be my choice for someone I'd love to see come back if we could make it a possibility of bending the law of medicine and allowing that to happen. Anyways,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's our What Do You Think segment, and now we can get to our final segment,
the mailbag,
which is a lot of anticipation because we have questions.
Yes, for the first time that isn't from either DJ or myself, we have questions from Mr. Reese Allen. Thank you again, Reese, for sending us your questions, for watching. Please give us all those likes, shares, and subscribes, and notification bell rings, and all those goodness. But we're going to get to your questions right now. Your first question is, what are your thoughts on Scarlett Bordeaux going to NXT? Do you think Killer Cross will follow her lead? That's a very interesting question.
Yeah, Killer Cross probably follow. I would see it in the future. It would kind of make sense for him going NXT. And very sensible. Scarlett Bordeaux, for her going to NXT, there's some question marks. It's kind of difficult for her going in there into WWE as a whole, because it's like I look at her and think, man, that's kind of similar to Mandy and Rose in a lot of ways, where it's a very attractive blonde woman
Mm-hmm.
that's sexualized. And I can actually see them though being put into a tag team in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's
Yeah.
at least, if they use it in that regard, it could be a good in way there. I don't know if it's the tag name is just going to be Desire and Desire. Because I mean, as much as they're friends in real life, they'll technically be a more cohesive unit, a more logical unit than Mandy and Sonya Deville.
Right.
And then allow Sonya Deville to go on to do more singles action.
And they can have it Fire and Desires, where Mandy and Scarlet are.
Could be like a faction type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what's going into the future. And who knows how long it's going to be. Who knows if she's going to be on NXT TV or just mostly just live shows.
Mm-hmm.
And situation, I mean, I don't know. It's very difficult to tell because like I feel like of course the character could do well in WWE, but NXT is a different beast.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it should be an interesting thing. It's not as much of a change as like there's some people like when I first heard it, it's like, well, I feel like they'd probably be a lot to have to change about her character because of its sexualized nature and going forward. But it's like no, because they do have Mandy Rose. It's not necessarily.
And she's been actually more sexualizing her character than.
And then you also have
before.
people like Lana.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very sexualized gimmick. Maybe that'd be one thing that keeps Killer Cross away. He doesn't want to be Rusev.
Right.
But for NXT, that wouldn't happen. We could be pretty safe in that regard. But yeah, Killer Cross will probably follow over. I know there's been a lot of rumors already speculating that they would go over there. I know I think WWE's had interest for him for good reason. So I would feel it's logical. I mean, follow the woman you're with into an opportunity. Whether you would have good opportunity, I think you would have good opportunity in NXT. Especially if we're gonna have. You think eventually a move up. It seems like it's been forever since we had a move up of wrestlers, and now it's on move down on wrestlers on NXT.
Yeah, a couple now.
Yeah, but if there's a good move up, that would leave a good opportunity for both Scarlett Bordeaux and
Killer Cross.
Killer Cross.
I would actually really like. I know she's going to NXT. It's basically a done deal. But I would have liked both of them to actually go to AEW because AEW women's roster needs a name like Scarlett Bordeaux to they have Awesome Kong, Brandy, Britt Baker, and who's the other really big? I guess Bea Priestley is the other biggest one, but there's not a woman with the clout and the actual experience of a Scarlett Bordeaux. So unless they get Ivelisse, it's still a small, kind of sort of weak roster. However, we'll see what's going to happen in the future. But
yeah, well, to that regard, they had to develop.
Yeah, I know.
Bands and tag team. I mean, we didn't know Private Party or
correct.
Jurassic Express. Or many other people, even individuals, Darby Allin.
Dark Order, Darby Allin, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, they've done a good job to get people over. They just need to kind of continue with that. But yeah, it could be useful there, but it's not like AEW should be getting everyone.
True, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see.
Need to spread some love around it. And when I think of that, I also think of that Patrick meme from SpongeBob with the candy bars, with like him blowing it out of his gut, and he's like, "You took my last candy bar. Now I'm going to starve to death." It's like that would be WWE anytime someone gets a talent over from WWE.
Right. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, and we'll definitely see and update you on how everything goes from there. Next question is: if you could see one match which we haven't seen yet, what would that dream match be?
Man, I guess checking out Triple Mania.
My dream match would be, I already have it off the top of my head after reading that. It is the high flying duo of the Brian Kendrick and Paul London teaming up once again to take on the Young Bucks. I think that would be such a cool match. I would absolutely love it.
I'd be honestly surprised if you didn't go out there and be able to find it somewhere. Like a PWG match. I feel like it's got to be there somewhere.
It's very possible. I've never seen it, and if it's not out there, I would love to. But unfortunately, the Brian Kendrick is in the WWE right now, so it's not a possibility. And Paul London is working on an Elvis movie, movie about Elvis. So yeah, there's all of that going down. So there's still a bit of stuff that's happening, but. To the most part, I'd want to see it. Also, Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly taking on the Young Bucks, which is something that's also probably could have happened already. But also them taking on Brian Kendrick and Paul London, anything or a triple threat match or tornado tag style of all three of those teams. Would be really, really cool. But yeah, that's my answer. Yours?
It does kind of make me wonder. I don't know if Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly teamed up in ROH. I can't remember.
I don't think they did, but I don't know.
How about this as possible crazy hardcore match? It's gonna go wild here. Triple main event. Someone may die. We're gonna have John Moxley in there.
Oh boy.
We're gonna have Sami Callihan in there.
Oh boy.
We're gonna have PCO in there.
Oh, man, yep.
Gonna have LA Park in there.
Oh
no. And then we're gonna have Jimmy Havoc. And then for good measure, we're gonna put Darby Allin.
Okay. Holy crap! And then why not? Let's throw your boy. Let's throw your boy in there too. Pentagon.
We'll put Pentagon Jr.
Oh, Penta-S-R-O-M. Let's throw him in there too. Oh man, yeah, someone is going to die in that match. That would be a very intense match.
Pitch out for Triple Mania. You call it the 7 levels of hell match.
Oh boy. I also thought of when you said hardcore, my mind thought of another interesting match for WWE, and it is an elimination chamber match with 4 of the pods being taken by the Undisputed Era, and the 2 starting DIY. Because even though they're a great unit together, I would actually like to see what would happen if the Undisputed Era battled for themselves. And DIY, 5-Star Johnny and Tommaso Ciampa, I mean, how does that make the Elimination Chamber match like 7 stars? Especially if it goes in the Tokyo Dome. And let's go to the final question. It is... Do you think The Undertaker will go into the Hall of Fame next year? I don't think this year. I think the year. I don't think 2020. I think 2021.
It all depends because they want to spread out their biggest name talents because they need the draw every year. So it depends on. Because you don't want to just go blow it too quickly because there may be some other ones that they want to put in there. Yeah, so maybe this year, maybe next year, but it's probably definitely close. I would assume, but you never know. But they do. But that's the whole thing when it comes to the big names like that. They want to spread it out evenly so that they can keep people coming back in. So, and it also depends on if they think they need the attention, want the attention.
Yeah. So Again, I don't see it this year. Do you see it this year?
It's always hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's also kind of toss up.
I mean, last year they did nothing but Attitude Era, basically.
Yeah. It's very difficult to know because you need a lot more insider information about all the opportunities. Because there's also things where it's like, hey, maybe the schedule works out right. I mean, for a guy in there, I don't think, like say The Rock, I don't even think he's in there.
No, he's not a Hall of Famer yet.
Yeah, and that should probably just be a scheduling conflict because I mean he's probably just making movies constantly.
Like he just came out with Jumanji's coming out soon. Then he also had a couple other movies, Hobbs and Shaw this summer, and a couple of his things.
So that one's going to be one of the biggest ones. So to plan that out, so it depends on a lot of things like the scheduling, how that works. Because sometimes it's just like, hey, they can't make it to the thing, so okay, move back to next year. We don't know. And I feel like they don't have to do it soon either. I mean, it's definitely not a situation like there's been guys out there where it's like they really should have done it sooner because they ended up passing away. That's not the same for Undertaker. I don't see him going away anytime soon. Right.
It'd be like one of those tragic.
That would have to been like out of nowhere loss for there. So I don't think there's a rush to have to do it. So like I said, it's a lot of insider information about schedules, about ratings, even like what are they competing against? Like last year, was this last one? Yeah, I think this is last one. It didn't seem like they would probably want a big name like that because they knew they were up against a big show in the ROH New Japan show.
Yeah.
And the G1
and it was like,
so they probably wouldn't want to drop Undertaker on there because they would want best opportunity. Yeah.
And then of course they also had like DX going in as a group, Harlem Heat going in as a tag team, a couple other big names, and then also
I couldn't even see
three two-time what is it called?
Hall of Famers?
Yeah, 3 two-time Hall of Famers being introduced.
It could even be a good question mark about. It could be a good question mark of saying like he could also go in multiple times, which is another way to just stretch out having Undertaker out there because you can be like if schedule works out, the Ministry of Darkness,
him as singles.
Him as singles, he could also be like Brothers of Destruction. That's probably going to get in themselves. While they're both going to get in individually, I see both of them as at least 2-time Hall of Famers.
Exactly.
So if scheduling works out with Kane's scheduling, they could do that, and you get the attention of having Undertaker, but you can also have it again next year. So it's a lot of times you're probably gonna see him in the Hall of Fame multiple times.
Yeah, it's not necessarily it will happen this WrestleMania
so
season,
you're gonna see like
but it'll happen.
Ministry
it will happen.
Ministry of Darkness, then Brothers of Destruction, then Undertaker, then fake Undertaker. It's like they gotta keep bringing Undertaker out.
And then Mark Calloway is coming out. It's like I wasn't playing fake Taker. Why am I here?
And it's like American Badass Undertaker gets in. And it's like and now we're gonna give one to Mean Mark Calloway. He's the Hall of Famer for his work in WCW. It's like, guys, seriously,
stop it. I know how to make this stop. Thank you, Vince McMahon.
I'm running out of fingers to put rings on.
But yeah, so final question of this show: are you ready to make your predictions?
Sure.
All right. Well, that means we're gonna sign out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down below and tell us your thoughts on everything we discussed on this podcast, on this episode. It's really, really cool, and we do engage with the fans out there. After you do that, please give us those sexy, sexy likes.
And the unsexy ones.
After you do that, please share this video and all of our videos to your friends.
And enemies.
Well, once you do that, you might as well go down and hit subscribe so that way you're a part of the Smarky family. And then go and ring the notification bell because
I want to get notified for when we go live for this podcast right here, Sheen with the Smarky family, every Sunday. And also when we go live for pay-per-view events like the one tonight and other ones in the future.
Right.
Just also we're advertising the NWA one. Who knows? Maybe we'll do that one if we schedule allows it. But you could be for that one and any other pay-per-views out there. We'll have live reactions to it, and you'll be notified about it if you hit the bell.
Exactly.
And also, just anytime we put out videos, polls, information.
Hopefully we won't be able. Hopefully we'll be able to do more videos where we're not always live soon with the new move that I'm having. We'll let you guys know. And whenever we do like reviews of wrestling shows or reviews of I guess reviews of wrestling shows is what this channel primarily does, but also prediction videos. You want to be notified for those as well. And so if you want to be a part of the conversation, if you want to talk to us and tweet at us directly, follow me on Twitter at IsaJ_STP.
Follow me on Twitter at Liam_SWA.
And as always, until next time, it will be awesome.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Thanks for the questions.